Ladies and gentlemen of the interwebs, for reasons which will become abundantly clear in a matter of minutes, we are starting today's show off with a supercut of Joe Biden sniffing, squeezing, grabbing women in inappropriate manners. Women, I should add, that are not his wife. Women, I should add, that are also barely women at some time, being young. Behold!
My perfect wife.
Don't tell me what Can I own it just alone?
We met before. It's hard to forget those eyes.
Wait, no, come on.
Okay.
Come on,
All right,
you
so
get-
hold
you get
five.
right over here. There we go. You can put it away if you want. Remember what you said to my mom? It was wonderful. My mom loved it.
1 minute, Angel. Do you want to hold it? Here, lollipop. It's going to come in.
Got us all.
Just look at the camera, and we're going to have lollipop. It's going to go right up.
Keep going. You're going to stand right next to me.
Now, the only thing I
And
hope...
we're going to have...
There you go.
Got it? Okay.
And the people in the back, you can spread out a little bit.
The only thing that I hope is that in some of these montages, sometimes they include clips which are not real. And I double checked in as much as humanly possible to make sure all of these clips were in fact real. This is coming by way of Concerned Citizen, whose handle is @BGates is a psycho. And I presume that is intended to mean Bill Gates. And the video goes on. And it makes you feel very, very dirty for watching it. Why are we starting off with this for today's show, everybody? Because we're going to have a little discussion about a segment that Tim Dillon, stand-up comic, political commentator, podcaster, did that went viral. And in that clip, Tim Dillon walks a very fine line between comedy, commentary, and defamation. We're going to come back to the Joe Biden touchy-touchy, grabby, total perv in a sec. But we'll get to Tim Dillon's segment, and I'll play it without saying a thing, in as much as I can keep my mouth shut for 88 seconds. Let's see if we can do it. This is Tim Dillon's impugned bit, which sent some shockwaves, which triggered a response from me that triggered responses from others. So I guess you could say it's a circle trigger. Behold.
She has one thing left to do, and it's destroy Trump, because I don't know what Trump was a part of, but he's probably fucked some underage people, I would imagine, and God only knows what else. He's been accused of horrible things in these files. Now Trump's saying he likes Bill Clinton. Play this, because Trump knows. Here's what Trump knows. Trump didn't fear Hillary when she had something to lose. Do you understand? When Hillary needed the dark overlords, when she needed them, he didn't fear her. Now that she doesn't need them and she's about to slip her skin suit and go back to her home planet, he knows that she will go in front of Congress. There she is with her husband, Bill, and they're going to light this shit on fire. They're going to talk about Trump. They're going to talk about everything. Let's play the video where Trump is talking about liking Bill Clinton.
It bothers me that somebody's going after Bill Clinton. See, I like Bill Clinton.
Oh.
I still like Bill.
What do you like about him?
I liked his behavior toward me.
First of all, I love that. What do you like about Bill Clinton? I like that he was nice to me. I mean, that's classic Trump, where you might want to take the I like Bill Clinton with a bit more of a grain of salt.
I thought he got me. He understood me.
He's guilty. It's guilt. This is guilt.
Now let's pause it here. I am not just a proponent, a staunch supporter of the freedom of speech. And we're not really entering the world with the world of freedom of speech, because we're not talking about a government enacting a law to, prevent someone from speaking freely. I believe that everybody should be allowed to say, within the realm of the law, what they want. And then the only question is, when do you stop being within the realm of the law? Who the F is this turd? Some people are asking. Tim Dillon. I think he's mildly funny. I think he's got some good insights. And then the question is only this. I'm going to play the first 10 seconds. Does this cross a line?
She has one thing left to do, and it's destroy Trump, because I don't know what Trump was a part of, but he's probably fucked some underage people, I would imagine.
He probably effed some underage people, I would imagine, and then goes on with the clip, and then at the end says he's guilty. Now, I took the position unpopular as it might be, that this is getting very, very close to defamation. This is getting very, very close to asking for a lawsuit. And then people like, Viva, but he said, in my opinion, he said, he didn't say it as a matter of fact. I don't block people on Twitter. People can speak freely. I mute people because their, freedom to speak does not imply my obligation to hear. Someone can speak. It doesn't mean I'm going to give them a bullhorn and put that bullhorn an inch from my ear. And then the question is, at what point does it stop being commentary and start being libelous? He probably effed some underage people is an accusation of statutory rape at best, or pedophilia at worst. And then I took to Twitter to share my insights in as much as anybody cares what I have to say. Sometimes people do, sometimes people don't. And then sometimes it pisses people off, and I like it. And I read replies because I know how Twitter works. Like sometimes when something gets more comments than reposts, it means ratio, and it means that you said something stupid. And I like to say, did I see something stupid? I said, this is how you get sued for defamation, Tim, and you will deserve it. Plus your logic, re the Clintons, makes zero sense. Let me stop it there. Let's get back to the defamation in a second. Let's just take myself out of the stream. Let's just get to the logic of what Tim Dillon is saying. He's saying now that Hillary Clinton has nothing to lose, she's going to spill the beans on Donald Trump. There are no beans to be spilt. Like, this is what's driving me nuts. There are no beans to be spilt on Trump per se. There might be beans to be spilt on members of his entourage. I think that's becoming abundantly clear. And then some people are going to say, well, how many people in his orbit does he have that are intimately involved, past, present, or not future, unless he's still alive, past or present, I just say past, with Jeffrey Epstein? There are no beans to be spilt on Donald John Trump. If there were, they would have been spilt a long time ago. The idea that anybody believes or seriously promotes the notion that they would have withheld leaking, disclosing, incriminating information on Trump as relates to Epstein because it would have brought other people, it's stupid. It's so idiotic. They tried to bankrupt Donald Trump. They tried to jail Donald Trump. They tried to kill Donald Trump. You don't think that they would have surreptitiously leaked selectively information if they had it that would have implicated Trump? I don't say we've seen everything in the Epstein files. We've seen a lot more now, thanks to the efforts of some. We've seen a ton. And what inculpates Trump in all of these documents? Haphazard mentions of his name and nothing more than that. People in his entourage. Steve Bannon's having a rough week and he's going to have a rough year. Howard Lutnick is, getting tripped up with some statements that he made. But the idea that they would not have released information on Trump that they had, if they had it, because it would have brought other people down, it's stupid. By the time you're trying to kill somebody, and I do genuinely believe that the Butler assassination attempt was a deep state operation. I believe that the Ryan Ruth assassination attempt was a deep state operation. By the time you're going to kill somebody, you'll take down other people with you if you fail on that mission. Hillary Clinton has had nothing to lose, politically speaking, since 2016. She was never running again. Maybe you could say, all right, she might have run again in 2020, so she won't spill the beans then if it takes it. Bullcrap. She had nothing to lose as of 2016, even less as of 2020. And she had zero to lose in 2024. So that rationale from Tim Dillon is superficial nonsense. Bad analysis, in my humble view. But then we get into the accusation of having sex with underage people.
God only knows what else. Probably fuck some underage people, I would imagine. And God only knows what else.
I would imagine. So now here's the deal. And the funny thing is, when you take issue with this, people come at you from different angles. They say it's comedy. He's not serious about it. Oh, okay, fine. If he's not serious about it, it's comedy. It's commentary. He's entitled to his belief. Oh, okay, fine. Oh, he said the words, I believe, probably, therefore, defense. No. So politically speaking, Hillary had nothing to lose since 2020. Yeah, she had absolutely nothing to lose in 2024. Statements like this are what happen when you get too comfortable saying increasingly bombastic and hyperbolic things under the guise, under the guise of shock humor political analysis. Your audience will cheer you on and you feel morally justified and legally invincible. You've crossed the line here and I suspect you will be receiving a lawyer's letter demanding a retraction, correction, and apology. Time will tell. Then people get angry with this. Are you seriously endorsing the idea of a sitting president sending retraction demands to comedian podcasters over commentary like this? Do you remember the kind of things right-wing podcasters were saying about the Bidens? Because it was a hell of a lot worse than this, and I would have been apoplectic if Biden had tried to pull that shit. Well, first things first, and I like Mel, and Mel and I get along, and we're having a respectful dialogue here, and now we're going to get back to the Joe Biden. There was a lot of better reason to suggest that Joe Biden was up to perverted behaviors with children. There was a lot better. There was documentation, left, right, and center, videos, montages. There was also, the fact checks. True. Do you know what has to happen for Yahoo News to say true? A diary authored by U.S. President Joe Biden's daughter, Ashley Biden, describes showers taken with her father when she was a child as, quote, probably not appropriate, rating true. So it's not the same that people said Bill Clinton sexually assaulted women, because he did. He pleaded, he settled it. He was disbarred for these claims. He paid out $800,000 to settle these claims. It's not the same just because one's a president and the other's a president. It's the absence of proof that can justify making that claim. Then it goes to the question of whether or not simply adding the word probably, in my opinion. We're not going to go into an in-depth legal analysis on this. You all know the criteria for defamation: false statement that causes damage to a person's reputation, and when it comes to public figures, has to be made with actual malice. You can go look it up in the law. Just adding, in my opinion, he committed rape. That's not going to defend, is not a defense to potential defamation claims. This is a thing where I appreciate what some people say. They say it privately and then others post it publicly. Like, he's saying what we all feel. And I said, first of all, there's no such thing as defamatory thoughts. I appreciate there's a lot of people out there who are wildly pissed off with this administration for the bungled disclosure of the Epstein files. Disclosure is so bad, it either looks like culpability, concealment of culpability, or in my view, sabotage. Listen, all y'all, it's a sabotage. For those who don't know, just cloaking what is otherwise a demonstrably false statement of fact in my opinion, probably followed up with guilty, is not a defense to defamation. I liked Tim Dillon, but this is what happens when you get cheered on by an audience. You get used to saying increasingly bombastic things, and at some point, familiarity breeds contempt, and you cross a certain line. This, I think, crossed a line. Stating probably guilty have effed underage people. You'd better have some better evidence than just being unhappy with the disclosure of the Epstein files to make such a claim. You better have some evidence in the Epstein files to make such a claim. And thus far, other than some FBI anonymous tip back in 2020 when Trump was announcing he was rerunning for president, and subsequently written off, disregarded by the FBI as a crazy person who calls in crazy tips, there is no evidence that Trump did anything like that. There's no pictures of Trump getting a deep tissue massage by one of Epstein's victims, Virginia Giuffre. There's no pictures of Trump with the victims like Prince Andrew and Virginia Giuffre. So you want to say it, you'd better have some better evidence than just pleasing your audience and what they want to hear. We're going to get into the rest of this because the disclosures have revealed a lot of things, but in my view, and it's not because I believe in government censorship, I believe in not just human decency, but free speech within the realm of the law. You don't get to use your speech to induce fraud. You don't get to use your speech to defame people. And you want to suggest that someone had fornications with underage people, you'd better have some shred of evidence. And not just cloak it in the guise of comedy, don't take it seriously, but I was serious in its political commentary, which I'm free to do, although it's baseless and defamatory. That is what you call the moving goalpost of, I want to say defamatory stuff and not be held to account for it.